everyone's attention. Here we go. I was about to raise this up, and I'm like, no, I should probably leave it where it's at. It's not for me. Well, listen, first of all, thank you all very much for coming here today. It really means a lot. I have a very distinct honor today. I get to introduce you all to someone that I've known since my freshman year of high school. In fact, I could tell you, if we walked into that same classroom right now, I could take you to the very seat I was sitting in when she walked into the classroom that day. But the thing that has always amazed me about Tina is, from the very beginning, she had this innate sense of justice and right and wrong. And you don't expect that in high school freshmen, right? She was just always someone that, regardless of what was going on, regardless of what a popular trend might have been or whatnot, for her, what was important was what was right or what was just in that particular moment. And that is the way it's been ever since I met her my freshman year of high school. That's the way it's been ever since we've been married, going on 20 years now. There hasn't been a single day that has gone by where I have not just been in love with her, but just been incredibly impressed with her character, her ability, her intelligence. Believe me, if something breaks around the house, I'm not the guy that fixes it. When I deployed overseas, it was something to where Tina signed up to be married and to have kids with me, but she didn't sign up to have to do a lot of it alone. And she did when I was in the service. And she was someone that always managed things, took care of things, make sure things got done, make sure the kids were educated, were taken care of. And not only that, but she helped other families at the same time that she was doing it for our family as well. She has always been someone to step up in the community and offer help and assistance and encouragement whenever it has been needed. And I cannot tell you how proud I am that she is willing to step forward once again in a time when I think we desperately needed to do it again.
Yes.
And I've been asked repeatedly by my colleagues in the General Assembly, Nick, what has the response been since Tina has announced that she's considering this? I said, well, from the right or from the left? What's the response been from the right? I'm like, everyone loves her. There are people that are showing up to support her that never would have supported me. all of a sudden, the cool Freitas is running for office. And they said, well, what about the left? I said, well, the response on the left is, dear God, there's two of them. So without anything else, it is my tremendous honor to introduce to you the next senator from the 24th District.
Thank you all so much for coming today. Boy, I mean, Nick was so nervous to get up and speak to you all today because, he's so shy and has a hard time speaking, in front of crowds. So, that was really sweet, honey. I'd like to first, I need to let you know that I am Tina Freitas, and I am running for the 24th Senate District Republican nomination. All right, can I take this off the stand and move the stand? Is that possible? Hopefully I don't mess anything up. But I just know I'm going to trip over this thing. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. First, I would like to introduce you to my children. Where are my children? We've got Lily, Sandy, we've got Luke, and Allie. You all already know Nick. Well, I want to start by sharing with you a little bit about the way I was raised. I come from a family of farmers on one side and small business owners on the other. I remember weekends on my grandparents' farm, which we affectionately called the ranch. And I played on all of that dangerous harvest equipment that I was definitely not supposed to be playing on. And I remember driving my dad's truck all over the fields and the levees when my feet could barely reach the pedals. I remember riding in the work van with my other dad, helping him move the hoses out of the way as he was steam cleaning his clients' carpets. I have a loving family who taught me the value of working with your hands to build and create things. They taught me the value of work ethic. There seemed to be nothing that my parents couldn't do, both sides, with their own two hands. This is probably why I too love to work with my hands, to create and to build things. As a child growing up in a small business home, I remember the hardship of tax season every single year on my parents who worked so hard to provide for us. We were not a wealthy family at all, not by a long stretch. But it seemed like every time we turned around, there was the government to take a large portion of what my parents had worked so hard to earn. I remember my parents painstakingly budgeting every single dollar each month to make ends meet. And every time they got ahead, every time they were successful, there was the government again to punish them for success and to take more of what they had earned. Then when my parents decided they were going to sell the carpet cleaning business, the business that they had built up with their own two hands, there was the government, yet again, to take a huge portion of what they had risked everything to build and that they had built with their own hands. They did build that. This is why I'm so passionate about keeping our government limited and taxes low and money in the hands of the people who worked hard to earn it. Yes. Even as a child, I knew it was wrong for the government to plunder hardworking people in order to maintain its massive appetite for spending. Many of you know me. I've been actively involved in the Republican Party. I've served on a local GOP. I was first vice president and then president of the Republican Women in Culpeper. And I've volunteered on many Republican campaigns, and I've written in support of our values various articles to different outlets. I've always enjoyed being involved in politics. Actually, I should reword that. I've always seen the importance of being involved in politics. I think that's true of many of us. What we truly enjoy are our families and our careers and our hobbies. Politics is really something we engage in as a necessity so that we can pursue happiness with as little government interference as possible. Over the last several decades, that has become increasingly difficult. There doesn't seem to be a single aspect of our lives which is safe from meddling politicians who think they know better than we do how to live our lives. It's as if many of our representatives have become confused and mistakenly come under the false impression that rather than represent us, their job is to micromanage and control us. It would be bad enough if we were only subjected to this kind of condescension from the opposing party. But let's face it, it's become commonplace even among many within our own. You all know what I'm talking about. Those politicians who only value the Republican creed when they need your vote. But then they flippantly disregard the creed and you once the election cycle's over. I'll never understand how politicians can find our principles so essential to getting elected, but then quickly abandon them when it comes to legislating. Maybe they don't truly believe in them. Or maybe they're just used to getting away with it. In an attempt to cover up for this betrayal, they lecture us on the necessity of compromise. For those of you wondering, The word compromise no longer means the noble pursuit of trying to find common ground. Now, the word compromise is now a tidy little wrapping used to cover up a lack of fortitude to withstand pressure from an aggressive left. It's really no wonder that it's very difficult to find an example of the left compromising in our direction lately. I refuse to see my children's future, a future that we fought for as a family, compromised away. Is it really too much to ask that those who seek to represent us would honor their word, their commitment to us, and their commitment to the Constitution? Yes. Please believe me when I say to you that I could be very comfortable standing in the audience right now, listening to a different candidate say these things. I usually am. It would be a lot more comfortable. But there isn't one in this race. There are times in life when you know what needs to be done. You are passionate about your cause, and you are waiting for someone to step up and make it happen. But no one steps forward. So now it's on you. That's why I'm standing here today. I am not as polished a candidate as the politically elite would probably prefer. But let's face it, Richmond and Washington, D.C. are full of polish. What they lack is substance and conviction. Their deficiency isn't found in a lack of qualification, but in a lack of conviction and courage to uphold it. I will never forget, as some people were asking me to consider this run, Nick was sitting with me and he asked me, Tina, why do you want to do this? So I started to give him a long answer based on all my frustrations with our current representative and all my political beliefs, and he said, stop. I know all that. But I need to know why you want to do this. I immediately said, my children. I cannot stand by and watch them grow up in a country that no longer values the things that we fought for as a family. I couldn't go to war with you last time, Nick, but I can this time. That is why I'm doing this. Emmett Hanger is a nice man. My desire is not to drive him out of office. My hope is that he will see that it is time for the next generation to step up and defend our district. To give you guys all an idea, I am 40 years old. When Emmett Hanger first entered the legislature, I was 4. It's time. We need someone with conviction, resolve, and energy to uphold it against the onslaught of bills from the extreme left, designed to control us, deprive us of our rights, and the fruits of our labor. This fight is much larger than a primary. As Virginians and as Americans, we are currently embroiled in the fight of our lives and against an aggressive new left, enamored with the socialist agenda and absolutely determined to carry it out. We need a senator who recognizes the urgency of the situation and intends to fight hard to stop this onslaught. We need to know that our senator has the conviction that what we believe is true and worth fighting for. That individual liberty, free markets, property rights, personal responsibility are what have made us great as a commonwealth and as a people. That protecting innocent human life, both born and unborn, is not something to compromise on. person has the power within them to achieve something great as long as the government stays out of their way and within its constitutional boundaries. This is not just a stump speech to me. This is my attempt to convey the basis for my conviction. I've been asked if I'm scared to run. To be exposed to that hatred that is generally demonstrated by the press, by Hollywood, and by the left toward every conservative woman who has ever dared deviate from the left's talking points to speak up for what we really believe and know to be true. To be perfectly candid with you, it can be intimidating. But I refuse to cower and let fear dictate my actions. As a Christian, I know that the Word of God tells me that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Amen. I intend to project that truth on the campaign trail, and I intend to live it out in Richmond as your next senator. We are one generation from losing something so special in this country, and I will not have it said of me that when I had the opportunity to fight, I did nothing. I will not have my son see his mother complicit in a diminished future. I will not have my daughters fall prey to the false narrative that it is the left that speaks for women in this country. So I am going to take a stand for everything that I love and hold dear about my country. I am going to do it as if the entire conflict depends upon my efforts, because to do anything else will have been to compromise away their future for the sake of comfort. I believe that victory is within reach, but we will have to fight for it like our lives depend upon it. Because as the left has shown us lately, many innocent lives do depend on it. I believe the future of our children is worth fighting for. And I know that you believe it too, and I'm asking you to join me and fight by my side.